Welcome, curious minds, to another deep dive. Today, let's think about a challenge that so many businesses are wrestling with right now. Picture brick and mortar co.
Hmm.
Maybe they've been successful for years, decades even, perhaps in retail, maybe financial services, and suddenly, bam, they're caught in this huge digital wave. They know they need to connect better with customers online. They know they need to adapt faster, innovate, but honestly,
Hmm.
they're drowning. Just drowning in data, buzzwords, all these different tools and solutions. Where do you even begin? It feels so fast, so fragmented. It's like you're just adrift. You sense there's a gap, but bridging it, that seems like a huge leap.
That's a really good way to put it, that feeling of being adrift. A lot of companies, just like your brick and mortar co., they often know there's a problem. Maybe they can't quite put their finger on it precisely, but they sense the gap, as our source material puts it. They get that digital is crucial, absolutely paramount, but turning that feeling, that intuition, into a clear path forward, a real strategy for growth. That's where the struggle often lies.
Hmm.
And without a system, a structured approach, it's just so easy to get lost. You end up chasing trends or maybe just putting band-aids on problems instead
Yes.
of,
Instead of fixing the root cause.
exactly, you're treating symptoms, not the underlying issue. It's the difference between applying a bandage
Hmm.
and actually performing the necessary surgery.
Absolutely. And that's precisely what we're diving into today. Our focus is the science of digital, specifically looking at Zerigo's approach to strategy and design, our mission here, to really unpack how they aim to fuel customer-centric growth through digital impact. Think of this as your shortcut, maybe, to understanding a really methodical way to cut through all that digital complexity and actually get results, measurable results. So for our brick and mortar co. and, businesses just like them, how do you actually move the needle? How do you get real traction in this digital age?
Well, what's really interesting, I think, is that Dirigo doesn't just talk about services. They frame their whole approach as the science of digital.
Hmm.
And that's not just marketing fluff, right? It implies something rigorous, methodical,
Yeah.
data-driven. It suggests it's way beyond just a bunch of random tactics thrown together.
Science implies predictability almost, repeatability.
Mm-hmm. Their stated goal is working with enterprises to define clear, actionable strategies that connect business ambition with customer needs and digital capability.
Hmm.
So it's not about guesswork. It's not throwing spaghetti at the wall. It's about intentional design,
Mm.
engineering growth based on evidence.
I like that phrase, connect business ambition with customer needs and digital capability. That really hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It highlights this critical intersection. It's not just what the business wants. It's not just what cool tech can do. It's how those things meet what the customer actually needs, what they desire. It forces a holistic view right from the start.
Exactly. Moving beyond just internal navel-gazing to understanding external demands. And the source material emphasizes that while business challenges may differ, growth demands focus, which is a really profound point, I think.
Growth demands focus. Yeah.
Every company has its own unique hurdles, right? Legacy systems, maybe silos between departments, whatever it is. But the core principle for growing sustainably, it always comes down to getting clear, getting focused, and targeting your efforts strategically. Sarago talks about crafting strategies that cut through complexity and move the needle. This suggests they're not pushing generic one-size-fits-all stuff. They seem to acknowledge every business is different.
But they apply a consistent method.
That's the idea. A systematic, almost diagnostic approach to find and fix the specific things holding back digital progress and, crucially, customer satisfaction. It's about giving you a tailored path, but using a standardized, proven method to get tangible results, not just chasing symptoms.
Okay, and what really caught my eye was the breadth of areas they claim to impact. They list experience and content, data and analytics, engineering and MarTech, campaigns and commerce. That's pretty comprehensive. What does that list tell us about how they view digital transformation? Because for our brick and mortar co., these might be totally separate teams right now, or maybe not even addressed properly at all.
That list is really revealing, I agree. It shows they understand that digital success isn't about just one thing. It's not isolated in one department or tied to one piece of tech. It's an ecosystem.
Like the ecosystem.
Okay,
Yeah.
think about it. Experience and content, that's the front door, right? How customers see you, interact with you online, website usability, the message you send. Then data and analytics, that's the brain, the intelligence, your eyes and ears, understanding behavior, performance trends. Engineering and MarTech, that's the plumbing, the engine room, the tech infrastructure and all those marketing tools, the MarTech, that make everything run. From email to CRM, and finally, campaigns and commerce. That's where the rubber meets the road for revenue and engagement, ads, e-commerce, all that direct interaction.
And often those are treated as separate worlds, aren't they? Marketing does campaigns, IT handles the tech.
Precisely. But Zergo's point seems to be that real customer-centric growth, it doesn't happen in those silos. You can't have a truly great customer experience without the right content, powered by solid data insights, delivered through effective integrated technology, which then fuels campaigns and smooth commerce. It all has to work together.
Like a well-oiled machine.
Exactly. They're saying a comprehensive strategy needs to work across all these areas, because if you neglect one, it drags the others down. It's about building that digital machine where all the parts are not just there, but perfectly synced up.
That makes so much sense. You can't just tune the engine if the tires are flat. You need the whole picture. Which brings us to their core strategic approach, the IDEA framework. Now, for you listening, IDEA is laid out as a clear four-phase model: identify, define, enable, and amplify. Can you give us the quick overview of what IDEA represents? How does it act as their roadmap?
Yeah, the IDEA framework is essentially their step-by-step guide. It's not trying to do everything at once. It's designed as a phased journey, guiding companies from initially finding those problems and opportunities all the way through to scaling up what works, with the big goal being consistent, measurable growth, and importantly, continuous improvement.
Okay. Logical steps.
Right. Each phase builds on the last one. Identify, define, enable, amplify. It creates a more sustainable, impactful result, they argue.
All right, let's dive into that first phase then. Identify, discover business gaps and opportunities. The goal here, they say, is to expose barriers to growth.
So for a company like Brick and Mortar Co. that feels something's wrong but can't pinpoint it, how do they move past that gut feeling? How do they actually find these barriers?
Well, their process here seems pretty structured. They detail their how we work approach. It starts with stakeholder interviews and discovery sessions. And this isn't just, a casual chat. It's a deliberate process to get those qualitative insights from key people across the business: sales, marketing, IT, customer service, everyone.
To understand the internal view, the friction points.
Exactly. What are the perceived challenges? What are the internal processes like? Things that might not show up neatly in data. But then, alongside that, they do these comprehensive CX and digital capability audits. CX, customer experience, of course. These are systematic checks. How good is the current customer journey? What's the state of the tech, the tools, the processes?
So qualitative conversations and quantitative checks, right? It provides that objective baseline, a real diagnostic snapshot of where the company actually is in terms of digital maturity.
And it seems they put the customer right at the heart of this, even in phase one. They mentioned persona mapping and journey diagnostics, and also maturity and experience index scoring. Why are these so critical right at the beginning? It feels like they want to know the customer inside out before anything else.
Oh, absolutely crucial. And this is often where those big aha moments happen for clients. It's not just seeing where customers drop off in a journey, but understanding why. And often the why is completely different from what the company assumed internally.
Ah, okay. Challenging assumptions.
Definitely. Persona mapping and journey diagnostics, that's about really digging into who the customers are, what motivates them, what are their needs, their pain points, and crucially, how do they actually interact with the business right now, every touch point. By mapping these journeys meticulously, you pinpoint the friction. Where are customers getting frustrated? Where are they just giving up? For our Brick and Mortar Co., maybe this shows customers hate signing up for the loyalty program online, or the mobile site is just too slow for certain products. Big drop-offs.
Things that might seem small internally but are huge for the customer.
Exactly. Then the maturity and experience index scoring adds the objective layer. It benchmarks the company's current digital abilities and the quality of their CX against industry standards or best practices. This lets them quantify things. Put a number on it. It gives a clear, objective measure of the digital maturity gap, the experience gap. So you move beyond, I think our website feels slow, to our mobile load speed score is a 2 out of 10 for this key customer persona, and it's costing us X amount in potential revenue.
Wow. Turning vague feelings into hard data and opportunity. So, after all that digging, what does a business actually get from this identify phase? They list a business goals and gap analysis report and a digital maturity scorecard. How do these set the stage?
These are designed to deliver absolute clarity. Actionable clarity. The business goals and gap analysis report pulls everything together, the interviews, the audits, the customer diagnostics. It clearly shows the disconnect between the business's goals, say, brick and mortar co. wanting 30% more online sales, and what they can actually do right now. It flags the biggest barriers, whether they're tech issues, process problems, or CX bottlenecks.
And the scorecard.
The Digital Maturity Scorecard gives that quantifiable assessment we talked about, a literal score. How sophisticated are they digitally? Data use, MarTech integration, AI readiness. Together, these reports give you that solid, unbiased baseline. Here's where you are today. Here are the specific high-priority areas you need to fix. It's like getting a comprehensive health check for your digital operations.
Got it. And then on the customer side, they deliver customer insights and persona mapping and an experience index opportunity model. What kind of aha moments could brick and mortar co. get from these? This seems key for you, the listener, wanting quick, actionable knowledge.
Oh, this is where the real shifts in thinking can happen. The customer insights and persona mapping isn't just demographics. It gives you that deep understanding, qualitative and quantitative, of your different customer groups, their motivations, their feelings during interactions, their behaviors, their real pain points. You might discover, say, that a huge chunk of your high-value customers are ditching their carts at the payment stage because the payment gateway is clunky or confusing in a way you never realized. You find out the why isn't what you thought.
And the opportunity model.
The Experience Index Opportunity Model takes those CX gaps and quantifies them, mapping them directly to business opportunities. It might show that fixing that one specific, seemingly minor part of the journey, like that payment gateway, could unlock massive growth. Why? Because it's a major blocker for a really valuable customer group. So simplifying that payment step might give you, say, a 10x better ROI than redesigning the whole website. It's about pinpointing the highest leverage points, moving from we think this is an issue to we know this is an issue, and fixing this specific thing will have a huge impact.
That is incredibly powerful. Prioritizing based on real impact potential. Okay, so you've found the gaps, you've identified the big opportunities. Now you move to phase 2. Define, create strategy, and prioritize impact areas. The goal, shape strategy with precision, turning all those insights into clear, actionable, and importantly, prioritize plans.
Exactly. This phase is all about building the blueprint, translating all that rich data and insight from identify into something coherent and actionable. How we work here starts with defining the CX vision and mapping future state journeys. So this is where they work with the client to imagine what the ideal customer experience should be. Free from today's barriers, leveraging the new opportunities. It's aspirational, sure, but it's grounded in the insights from phase 1.
Not just dreaming, then.
Right. And crucially, they also align tech and data with strategic goals. This makes sure the tech stack, the data infrastructure, isn't just an afterthought. It's not some separate IT project. It's intentionally shaped, optimized to directly support those desired customer experiences and the overall business goals. No more tech for tech's sake. Every investment has a purpose.
Okay, but how do they make sure this vision actually happens? That it doesn't just become a nice diagram gathering dust? They mention building execution playbooks and toolkits and integrating AI and personalization frameworks. How does that make a strategy actionable, especially for a big company?
Yeah, this is critical. This is where the strategy gets legs, turning concepts into stuff teams can actually do. Building execution playbooks and toolkits means creating those step-by-step guides, detailed templates, standard procedures, reusable resources, things teams can literally pick up and use. It takes you from a high-level goal like improve customer loyalty down to a practical process, like here's the exact 5-step way to personalize emails based on purchase history, and here are the templates. That's vital for consistency and scale in a large organization.
Makes sense. Removes ambiguity.
Exactly. And integrating AI and personalization frameworks right at this stage. That means the strategy is designed from the start to use advanced tools for dynamic individual experiences. It's not bolted on later, it's woven in. An AI framework might outline how an intelligent system recommends products based on real-time browsing, for example, or how a chatbot gives hyper-personalized support using CRM data. It ensures the strategy is built for the modern world, anticipating the need for automated, intelligent interactions that customers now expect. It makes the strategy inherently smarter, more efficient.
Building the intelligence in from the start. Got it. So what do you get from this define phase? The deliverables. They list the experience strategy blueprint and customer journey maps. How do these act as the North Star for everything that follows?
These really are the navigational charts for the whole journey. The Experience Strategy Blueprint is the master plan. It lays out the overall vision, the strategic pillars, the key initiatives, the desired outcomes needed for that ideal CX. It's the what and the why. Then the customer journey maps visualize the future state. How should customers interact? Every touch point, the desired feelings at each stage, the actions needed. And these aren't just static diagrams. They're living documents that guide everything: design, content, tech implementation, maybe even team structure. They ensure everyone's pulling in the same direction toward that seamless, strategically aligned experience.
Okay, a shared vision. And then on the more technical, practical side, they list a technology roadmap, playbooks and execution frameworks, AI and MarTech accelerators, and strategic toolkits. This sounds like they're really handing over the keys, the actual tools needed to build it. Designed for speed and clarity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And the key here is that these aren't just theoretical suggestions. They are intensely practical, designed to accelerate things. The technology roadmap gives a phased, actionable plan for the tech side: platforms, data flows, integrations, specifics. Playbooks and execution frameworks are the detailed how-to guides, breaking down big initiatives like launching a personalized content hub into manageable steps for different teams. Who does what, when.
And the accelerators, AI and MarTech accelerators.
Those are basically pre-built components, modular templates, ready-to-go configurations that drastically speed up deploying AI features or MarTech tools. You're not starting from zero every time. So maybe a pre-built template for an AI recommendation engine that could plug into a brick-and-mortar co site way faster than building one from scratch. And strategic toolkits are collections of reusable assets. Maybe a framework for A/B testing, a guide for customer interviews, things that empower the internal teams to keep the strategy going. This whole package really embodies that idea of strategy with speed, giving you everything needed to move forward fast and effectively.
Fantastic. Okay, so you've identified the gaps, defined a precise strategy with tools. Now, phase 3. Enable support, implementation, and execution. Goal. Move from planning to execution fast and effectively. Delivering those playbooks, this is where brick and mortar co starts seeing real change happen.
Exactly. This phase is all about rolling up sleeves and providing hands-on support to bridge that infamous gap between a plan and actually doing it. Their How We Work mentions they support rollout of MarTech, AI, and personalization tools. That's huge because implementing complex stuff, a new customer data platform, advanced AI analytics often needs specialized expertise that internal teams might not have yet. They're not just dropping off a plan, they're helping get it working.
Like having a co-pilot during takeoff.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
And they also co-create agile implementation plans with teams. This isn't top-down dictation. It ensures the internal teams are bought in, they're involved in the detailed planning, it builds their skills, and makes the whole process more adaptable to reality. It's collaborative.
And it sounds like improvement is built in from the start here, too. They talk about deploy frameworks for testing and iteration and optimize using performance tracking tools. But why is that continuous optimization so important during the rollout? Wouldn't it be simpler to just launch everything than tweak it?
That's a great question. And it gets to the heart of modern digital strategy. The digital world, customer behavior, it's constantly changing, right? You can't assume your initial plan is perfect. Deploying frameworks for testing and iteration from day one means setting up A/B tests, multivariate tests before you go big. So, Brick and Mortar Co. might test 2 versions of a new product page on a small audience first, see which works better before launching it to everyone.
Learning as you go.
Exactly. And by optimizing using performance tracking tools, they monitor KPIs, user behavior as things roll out. You get immediate feedback. What's working, what isn't. This rapid feedback loop allows for quick adjustments. You put more resources into what's working, fix problems early without waiting months for a big review. It massively reduces risk, avoids wasting money on things that aren't landing, and gets you to optimal performance much, much faster. Agility is baked in.
Not set it and forget it at all. A living strategy. Okay, so what deliverables support this? They list an execution support plan and implementation playbooks.
Right. The execution support plan clarifies exactly how Zerigo will help during the rollout: roles, responsibilities, timelines. It's a clear commitment to partnership during that critical phase. The implementation playbooks are the super granular guides. Step-by-step instructions for putting the strategy into practice. Could be technical setup for MarTech, content deployment steps, even team training guides. For Brick and Mortar Co., this ensures everyone, marketing or IT, has clear, consistent instructions. Less confusion, faster deployment, better consistency.
And to really hammer home that optimization piece, they also give a best practices framework, an optimization scorecard, and a performance tracking index. How do these ensure the strategy actually lands well and keeps improving, building that culture of excellence?
These tools are designed to create a self-sustaining improvement cycle within the client's own organization. The best practices framework provides benchmarks, proven methods from similar situations. It's a knowledge base to build on, avoid reinventing the wheel or making common mistakes. That optimization scorecard is a way to systematically check how things are performing against the goals, pinpointing where more refinement is needed. It quantifies the impact of tweaks.
And the tracking index.
The Performance Tracking Index sets up the dashboards, the reporting to continuously monitor key metrics. It gives you that real-time pulse. For brick-and-mortar co., maybe it's a dashboard showing customer acquisition cost, conversion rates by persona, ROI from specific AI efforts. Together, these tools don't just help the strategy land. They ensure it thrives, it evolves, they drive continuous improvement and measurable ROI long after the initial project. It's about creating that data-driven feedback loop for ongoing growth.
That's incredible. A feedback loop built right in, which leads us perfectly to the final phase. Amplify, scale what works, fix what doesn't. Goal. Assess the overall impact. Identify what's next for long-term continuous growth.
Yeah, in this phase, the focus really shifts to sustained results and strategic evolution. Their how we work methods here heavily emphasize ongoing data monitoring. Track KPIs and ROI through performance dashboards. So success isn't just a feeling, it's rigorously quantified. KPIs, return on investment, clear proof of impact for everyone. These dashboards provide real-time, actionable insights for data-driven decisions. Scale what's winning, address what's lagging. For brick-and-mortar co, maybe seeing the direct revenue lift from their new personalized journeys.
So not just tracking, but acting on it. They also mention conduct post-launch reviews, run growth experiments and iterations, and build systems for continuous improvement. How does this proactive, iterative cycle ensure growth doesn't just plateau after the initial big push?
This is where the long-term value really kicks in, keeping digital efforts dynamic. Conduct post-launch reviews. That's a structured look back. What went well? What could be better? What unexpected things happened? It's crucial for organizational learning. Don't repeat mistakes. Run growth experiments and iterations means constantly testing new ideas, new hypotheses. It's like applying the scientific method to ongoing digital evolution. A/B testing new landing pages, trying different AI scripts, refining personalization rules. Always learning.
Like a permanent R&D function for digital?
Sort of, yes. And crucially, they aim to build systems for continuous improvement. This isn't just about running experiments. It's embedding a culture and processes within the organization itself that naturally drive ongoing optimization. This ensures efforts don't stagnate. They adapt proactively to market changes, new tech, shifting customer behavior. For brick-and-mortar co, it means building that internal muscle to constantly find opportunities, test solutions, scale wins, sustain growth, not just a temporary bump.
Makes perfect sense. Building the capability internally. So, what deliverables come from Amplify, providing those longer-term insights? They mention a post-implementation review and KPI and ROI scorecards.
The post-implementation review is that comprehensive report. Did we achieve the goals? Where did we succeed? Where do we need to focus next? It's the formal debrief. The KPI and ROI scorecards provide that ongoing measurable proof of value, showing exactly how digital investments are paying off increased customer value, lower costs, higher conversions, essential for showing value to leadership and getting continued support.
And looking ahead, they deliver scaling and optimization playbooks, a continuous improvement index, and a strategic growth model. So what does this all really mean for the long-term digital health of a business like Brick-and-Mortar Co?
These are squarely focused on perpetuating growth and building self-sufficiency. The scaling and optimization playbooks give the how-to for expanding successful initiatives, new segments, markets, product lines, and for continually tweaking performance. How Brick-and-Mortar Co. might take a winning personalization tactic and apply it everywhere. The Continuous Improvement Index becomes an internal benchmark. How good are we at iterating and optimizing? It quantifies their internal agility.
And the growth model.
The strategic growth model is that high-level, forward-looking roadmap. Based on everything learned, where are the next big digital opportunities? What's the next leap? This whole suite ensures the company isn't just fixing today's problems or hitting one target. It equips them with the foresight, tools, and embedded processes to adapt, innovate, and grow continuously. It really sets them up for long-term digital health and competitive advantage. Internal mastery.
So it's definitely more than just a service. It's about building that sustainable engine. And speaking of engines and tools, Virago highlights their proprietary IP and toolkits. They say these provide strategy with speed. Cirag, they claim proven IPs and accelerators that fast-track clarity, decision-making, and delivery right from day one. Now, this is interesting. How do these pre-built tools actually deliver on that strategy with speed promise, especially for big, complex companies?
Yeah, that's a key part of their value proposition. These proprietary IPs, intellectual property, and accelerators, they essentially shortcut a lot of the foundational work. Instead of starting every single project from absolute scratch, which takes time, costs money, especially in large enterprises, these pre-built tools give a massive head start. They're reusable frameworks, models, methods, templates, things developed and refined over the years of experience. So a company like Brick and Mortar Co. doesn't have to wait months just for basic tools to be built. They can jump past that and get straight to the unique, high-impact strategic work much faster. Saves time, saves resources.
Like having specialized surgical tools ready to go, you said earlier?
Exactly, rather than forging them new each time.
Makes sense to leverage what works. Let's look at some specifics. First, their experience index models. How do these benchmark CX maturity in a truly actionable way?
Okay, these experience index models are designed to benchmark your CX maturity across digital, data, MarTech, and AI using structured scoring frameworks. That means they have predefined criteria, sophisticated scoring, to assess how mature a company is in delivering CX across these critical areas. For Brick and Mortar Co., it's not just a vague, your CX is okay. It provides an objective score, maybe 8 out of 10 on digital content, but only 3 on AI personalization. That granular score tells them exactly where they stand against best practices, reveals specific strengths, but more importantly, the precise weaknesses hurting their customer experience. Is that digital health check with specific prescriptions.
Got it. Then, personalization frameworks. They say these activate customer signals to create dynamic, high-performing journeys across every touch point. How does this translate to actually better customer experiences beyond just, putting someone's name in an email?
No, it goes way beyond basic mail merge. This translates into interactions that feel incredibly relevant, genuinely engaging. These frameworks let businesses use real-time customer data, their signals, to dynamically tailor everything.
Right.
Content, offers, maybe even pricing, the user interface itself. Imagine a Brick and Mortar Co. customer browsing for running shoes, looking closely but not buying. A good personalization framework activates that signal. Boom! Maybe a personalized email minutes later with a discount on those shoes.
Ah, okay. Acting immediately.
Right. Or showing related accessories next time they visit the site. It's about predicting needs, responding proactively, and dynamic, high-performing journeys across every touch point. Means this tailoring happens seamlessly, website, mobile app, email, chatbot, wherever the customer is. This continuous smart adaptation makes each interaction feel valuable, curated, relevant to the individual. That drives much higher engagement, loyalty, conversions. Customers feel seen and understood.
Next up, customer persona blueprints, aiming to turn data into deep customer understanding with need state personas and behavioral segmentation tools. What's the secret here? How do these go beyond just demographics to really capture who these customer segments are?
The key is moving past just age and location and getting to the why behind what customers do. These customer persona blueprints use advanced behavioral segmentation, analyzing how people interact digitally, what they consume, paths they take where they hesitate. Then they use that data to create need state personas, not just Millennial Mary, but maybe hesitant homebuyer Mary, who feels overwhelmed by mortgage forms and needs clear, simple guidance.
Focusing on the need, not just the label.
Exactly. That deep understanding of core needs, motivations, pain points. It allows businesses like Brick and Mortar Co. to design experiences, content, campaigns that truly resonate, emotionally, practically. It ensures strategic decisions, site navigation, ad copy are rooted in real customer empathy. Makes interactions far more effective, more satisfying.
And a very practical one, the MarTech Activation Playbook, to translate your tech stack into orchestrated workflows that drive automation, retention, and ROI. Now, for many businesses, that MarTech stack feels like a jumble of expensive, disconnected boxes. How does this playbook actually bring order and deliver results?
You've nailed a major pain point. Companies invest heavily in CRM, email tools, analytics, ad platforms. They often don't talk to each other well. They operate in silos. The MarTech Activation Playbook provides that step-by-step guidance to connect the dots, to automate processes, create seamless, integrated, orchestrated workflows. It's about making the tech stack work as a single, cohesive, intelligent engine, not just a pile of tools.
Can you give an example?
Sure. It might detail how a customer's website activity, tracked by analytics, automatically triggers a specific email sequence from the email platform, which then updates their profile in the CRM, all without manual intervention. This drives huge efficiency through automation. It improves retention because interactions become timely and personalized. And ultimately, it boosts the ROI you get from those pricey MarTech investments, making the tech work smarter.
They also mention AI and journey accelerators. We hear AI everywhere, but how do these make AI solutions modular plug and play, deploying AI-powered nudges, assistants, and decision trees?
This is really about making advanced AI accessible, deployable without needing huge, bespoke development projects every time. When they talk about modular plug-and-play AI nudges, assistants, decision trees, it's shifting from building AI from scratch to using pre-configured models and templates, often tailored to specific industries or tasks. So an AI nudge isn't just a generic pop-up. It's a real-time context-aware prompt. Maybe AI sees hesitation on Brick and Mortar Co.'s product page and proactively offers a relevant FAQ, a personalized discount, or a chat option before the customer leaves. Assistants could be more than basic chatbots, maybe integrating with the CRM to guide complex purchases, scaling human expertise. Decision trees allow for smart, automated routing or dynamic content based on complex rules. The modular and plug-and-play bit means integrating these often via APIs into existing systems, not requiring a massive rip and replace. That's a huge plus for companies wanting to quickly add advanced capabilities, accelerating the path to smarter interactions.
And finally, diagnostic dashboards. Emphasize for visualize business gaps, CX drop-offs, and opportunity areas using real-time insight models. Highlights the data focus, but what makes these dashboards different from just standard reports?
Totally. These diagnostic dashboards aim to provide a continuous, visual, and crucially actionable view of performance. They don't just dump data. They tell a story. They pull data from everywhere, web analytics, CRM, sales, customer feedback, to highlight where customers are struggling, CX drop-offs, where operations are inefficient, business gaps, and where potential lies untapped, opportunity areas.
And the real-time aspect is key.
Absolutely. The real-time insight models mean decision makers are always looking at the current picture, not last month's report. For Brick-and-Mortar Copen, a dashboard might instantly flag that mobile users in Ohio are dropping off at checkout more, or a specific campaign isn't converting for retirees. That real-time visibility allows proactive tweaks, not just reactive fixes weeks later. Makes complex data immediately understandable, actionable, truly translating data into strategic advantage to the science of digital.
Okay, so it's clear. Systematic approach, powerful tools. But why Zerigo? Why do they claim they're built for this? They point to their enterprise DNA, citing over 20 years of working alongside global enterprises. What does that deep experience actually mean for a client?
That depth of experience is huge, often more significant than people realize. Enterprise DNA implies they just get the unique challenges of big organizations. Working for over 20 years alongside global enterprises means they've seen it all inside these complex beasts. Colossal structures, legacy systems, diverse stakeholders, internal politics, the sheer scale of data of customers. This experience gives them a deep grasp of scale, complexity, and transformation.
They know the landscape.
They know the landscape intimately. They've likely seen transformations fail, see the impact of silos, dealt with resistance to change. This lets them anticipate hurdles others might miss and design strategies that are actually robust enough for the real world of large enterprises. It's not just theory, it's practical wisdom earned over 2 decades in demanding corporate environments. For our Brick-and-Mortar Co., with its history and processes, it means Zerigo probably speaks their language, understands their constraints.
That real-world grounding must be invaluable, which leads to their next point. Strategy meets reality. They say their strategies are built to land anchored in what's possible, not just what's ideal. Strong claim. Many consultants say similar things. Can you think of how that pragmatic approach might play out? How pulling back from an ideal but impractical solution could actually deliver better long-term results?
That's a really critical point because, brilliant ideas on paper often crumble against operational reality. Okay, imagine a large client, maybe a bank. They want the absolute cutting-edge, fully AI-driven, personalized, omni-channel customer service platform, launched in 6 months. That's the ideal.
Just dream scenario.
Right. A pure ideal strategy might map that out. But Zerigo's strategy meets reality approach would mean digging into the client's actual situation. What's the state of their IT, their data, their team skills, their budget cycles? They might then advise, look, that ideal isn't feasible right now. It would overwhelm the organization and likely fail. Instead, they might propose a phased approach. Let's first enhance the key digital touchpoints with targeted AI nudges. Let's get the data integration solid. Let's upskill the core teams, maybe over 12, 18 months. This possible strategy, while maybe less flashy up front, ensures adoption. It avoids chaos. It builds momentum with early wins. It creates a stable foundation so the full vision can be realized later, realistically. The better long-term result. A strategy that actually gets done, gets buy-in, delivers value incrementally, and leads to sustained change. Not a perfect plan that dies on the vine. Building the skyscraper floor by strong floor.
Progress over unachievable perfection. Makes sense. And finally, they highlight their cross-industry expertise. Success across BFSI, retail, healthcare, telecom, and beyond. BFSI being banking, financial services, insurance. How does working across such different sectors actually benefit a client? Is it more than just name dropping?
Oh, it's definitely more. That breadth of cross-industry expertise is a real strategic asset, delivering results in BFSI, retail, healthcare, telecom. It means they're not stuck in one industry's echo chamber. They're not limited by one sector's typical problems or solutions. This allows for what's often called cross-pollination, bringing best practices and innovative ideas from one industry to another.
Can you give an example?
Sure, maybe a super effective customer loyalty program they built for a retail client, using advanced personalization. Some of those techniques might be incredibly valuable, maybe even groundbreaking, for how a healthcare provider engages patients, or how a telecom company tackles customer churn. Or think about the intense data security and compliance needed in BFSI. The lessons learned there can hugely benefit a retail or healthcare client needing stronger data governance, even if the specific rules are different. This diverse experience gives them a much wider pool of insights and proven solutions to draw from. They can spot solutions that are standard in one field but totally new in another, giving their clients a unique edge, seeing the patterns across different landscapes.
Well, we've certainly taken a deep dive into the science of digital as presented by Zerigo today. We've explored their IDEA framework, those proprietary tools. It really paints a picture of how businesses can maybe cut through the noise and achieve that customer-centric growth. So, wrapping up, what does all this mean for you listening as you navigate the digital world, whether you're running a huge company like Brick and Mortar Co. or just trying to make sense of it all?
Well, if we bring it back to that offer, Zerigo makes a 3-week free consultation to assess where you stand and what's holding you back, promising that high-level gap analysis and digital maturity scorecard. It highlights something universal, doesn't it? It makes you wonder. In this time of constant digital change, constant information overload, how often do we really stop? How often do we pause to get genuine clarity on our own digital maturity, whether that's for a massive business or even just our personal brand online? And how often do we identify the actual roadblocks to growth rather than just chasing the newest shiny tech or reacting to the latest trend? The real power isn't just in having the tools, but in deeply understanding your own unique digital situation.
That is a powerful thought to end on. It's so easy to get swept up in trends, feel like you're behind. But without knowing where you truly stand, what's really blocking you, you might just be spinning your wheels. So we encourage you, reflect on your own understanding of digital strategy, professionally, personally. What would your high-level gap analysis show about your business, your team, maybe even your own digital skills? What would your customized digital maturity scorecard review about what's next for your growth? How you can better serve your customers or simply navigate your digital life more effectively? Because really understanding where you are with clarity, with precision, that's always the first essential step towards getting where you want to go.